Hey, it's Dylan, and I decided to maybe talk a few trans topics that I talked about a few months or weeks ago, but since I kind of got rid of all the old videos, I mean, they're still on the playlist if you want to see them, but since they're not public on YouTube anymore, I might as well remake some of them and also update them. So, yeah, um, sorry, it looked like something was behind me. Um, I guess I'll talk about coming out to my family. So that's been a mess. I ended up coming out twice, I guess almost 3 times. First time when I first realized I was in grade 9 and I changed my gender on Facebook and my mom commented and I don't know, I wasn't ready to be confronted about it, so said, oh yeah, it must have happened accidentally. And then a few weeks uh, after, she's like, I thought about it and that doesn't happen accidentally, so I told her and she said, okay, fine, we'll love you no matter what, but don't block up your future. And I thought, well, maybe I can ask for a binder, because I, I, I want one because I'd feel more comfortable. And we're talking about this, and she said, no, you're blocking up your future. So then I was ignored for months, except for a few stabs, I guess. And then in grade 11, I went to New York on a school field trip, and I wrote them an email, my parents, said like, hey, this is happening and it's been ignored, and maybe I've gotten the impression that you thought I was into girls and represented super masculine, but actually I have a boyfriend, and because I didn't tell them before and it only happened like the week before or less, and yeah, because like, no, I am not a lesbian, so please stop assuming that. Of course, not that there's anything wrong with people identifying as lesbians, it's just not me. And they're like, yeah, we'll love you no matter what, and obviously it will take some time to get used to it. And yeah, none of that happened, and it turns out after I returned from the trip, they actually thought that I was gonna run away in New York, which I wouldn't do that on a school trip. First of all, then in another country, that's illegal, and my visa will expire, and that's just a big mess. Why would I do that? And I guess they just said whatever to get me back, and then we kind of didn't talk about it for a few months. And when my boyfriend's over, he always doesn't use any names or pronouns, which is very hard on him, but I'm super lucky to have him, and he agreed, even if he doesn't like it, but he loves me and he'll do that for me, so that's great. And then in grade 12, which was last year, we had commencements, which is kind of like the walking across the stage, shaking the principal's hand, and getting your fake diploma, since you haven't actually accomplished anything, since we get in May, and we'll write our diplomas in June, and I didn't get my diploma mailed to me until July, beginning of August. So anyways, I told them, here, you're welcome to come, but they are gonna use Dylan because that is my name, everyone knows me as such, and I'd rather be comfortable. If you don't want to show up, fine. They're like, no, we'll show up, it's fine. But we're taking you to counseling now. I'm like, okay, I don't care. They said it before, and like, okay, do it. They'll just tell you that you're wrong. So we've been seeing a psychologist who doesn't know what the heck they're talking about. I mean, they're learning as we go, but there's this ethnic standard here in Canada, and I'm pretty sure I don't follow all of them. But they're slowly getting better, but then the psychologist kept on bringing up, well, why don't you compromise, my mom seems stubborn, I seem stubborn, and now the current suggested thing is I wait 2 years to transition, and my family has to use male pronouns in Dylan, and except for my brother's around my brother's friends, which I agreed with because my brother, I don't want him to get picked on, but at the same time, I hate that my mom brought it up. It's like, think about your brother. Of course I'm thinking about everyone, but I need to do what's okay for my health. So, the compromise thing, I am definitely not agreeing, and they're like, why don't you consider, okay, we considered it for 2 weeks, why don't you consider him more, and then tell your brother, and those sacrifices I don't think are equal. She sees them as equal, the psychologist. And of course it's going to be hard for my parents to, switch pronouns, especially since they're totally not on board. But at the same time, I'm waiting 2 more years to live my life, and they're like, well, the brain structure between 18-year-old and 20-year-old, like, fine, but same with a 15-year-old and 18-year-old, and I've waited those 3 years already without any compromise, so why should I wait another 2? So, I don't know. I don't want to be a piss baby about it, but I also just don't think it's fair. And, if my family just doesn't get it ever, that I guess I'll have to live with that. But I don't think it's an equal sacrifice, and it just encouraged me to move out sooner, which I've kind of been hesitant about since I'm gonna miss my dog, and I don't want them to be like, well, if you transition, you can't see the puppy. And I love my puppy. So, I don't know. I'm on the waiting list for T now. I've seen a psychologist 3 times, then they gave me a referral to a psychiatrist, which the wait list is 6 months. It's gonna expire like right when I'm in Europe in November or December. So I'll see them once I get back, which kind of has kept me from extending my trip for super long. Just dumb, but I want to start. But once I see them, then I need to see an endocrinologist who does like a bone check if it's all dense, and actually I need to have stopped growing in order to be given T, and the waiting list for them is 2 months. But I think that's actually really dumb, especially because I hear of 16-year-olds and 15-year-olds getting T, and I don't want to stop growing, but at the same time, I finally want to transition, I don't want to seem impatient, but I feel like I did my wedding 12 years in Azkaban. No, but, everyone else that I'm friends with seems to have gotten top surgery, or gotten on T, or both, which is great, but I'm here like, nothing has happened. But, that's the way it is, I guess. Everyone's situation is different, and this just proves that if I was in a different situation, I might be done all of that by now, and that would be awesome, but I'm not, and that's the way it is. So, sorry this was a super long video, but I hope that kind of gave you an insight on my situation, and I'm gonna make a school friends thing either right now or soon. So yeah, stay awesome, and see you soon.